Dr. Nardi here, back with another video, and in this video I want to talk about Piaget. More specifically, I want to talk about his early theories and how he's contributed to the field of psychology. We'll also talk about some criticism of his theories and how maybe contemporary research has extended these theories. So stay tuned. Now, according to Piaget, children understand the world through schemas. Now, schemas, according to Piaget, are psychological structures that organize one's experiences. According to Piaget, infants group items based on what actions they can perform on them. So an infant might, group an item if they can grasp it, if they can bite it. And then Piaget would argue that your schemas grow as you get older and as your cognitive abilities increase. So, for example, preschoolers might group things by function or concept. And then older children and adolescents maybe group things by abstract concepts and abstract categories like love and freedom and happiness. Now, how does an infant create these schemas? Well, Piaget said there's two forces at work. First is assimilation. So we assimilate new experiences into our existing schema. For example, let's say you have a little child has an understanding of a cat, and you have a cat at home, and maybe the cat you have at home is orange. And then maybe your child sees another cat at your friend's house, and that cat is white. Now, the child will start to learn that, oh, okay, that's a cat. Cats are orange. Oh, yes, cats are also white. And the child will modify their schema based on their new experiences. The other way that a child kind of learns about the world is through accommodation. Now, accommodations are when you actually modify or change your schema. For example, referring back to the cat analogy, let's say that you have a child and they have a cat at home and it's orange. And then you go to the store and you decide to adopt a dog, and you bring the dog home, and now your child's like cat, 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 because it looks very similar to a dog. But again, you explain to your child, oh, no, that's not a cat, that's a dog. And the child will eventually modify his or her schema through a process of accommodation and assimilation. Now, Piaget argued that cognitive development happens in stages. According to Piaget, stage 1 is from birth to about age 2, and this is hallmarked by sensory motor thinking. And basically, during this stage, a child is adapting to and exploring the environment. And once they get to the end of this stage, they start to kind of grasp the idea of object permanence, meaning that just because an object is out of sight doesn't mean the object stops existing. So let's say, for example, you have a child and they want the remote from you, and they're between, birth and 2 years old. Often, if you just hide the remote, they will forget about it because, again, they don't see it, so it stops existing. But by the end of this stage, a child will develop object permanence. Now, the next stage, according to Piaget, is pre-operational thinking. Now, during this stage, he says there's a number of characteristics. For one, there's egocentrism. Now, this is not like the child runs around with a giant ego, but this is the child believes that all people see the world as he or she does. There's also centration, and this is when a child focuses on one aspect of a problem or situation, but ignores other relevant aspects. Now, you might have seen videos of a child doing what we call a conservation task with a quantity of liquid. And if you put the same amount of liquid in a tall, thin glass, as opposed to a short, more wide glass, the child will pay attention to the tall and thinness and think there is more water, even if you pour it and show them at the same time. And then the last part of pre-operational thinking is appearance as reality. A child will often assume that an object appears to be what it really is. For example, a child believes that a person smiling at a person is really happy, even though the other person might be mean. The next stage is concrete operational thinking. And now the child can conserve. Now the child understands that just because someone is smiling doesn't mean that they're happy. And this occurs between about 7 to 11 years old. Piaget then went on to expand upon this to formal operations, which happens to adolescence and adulthood. This is like 11 and up. Piaget would argue that, however, there are many criticisms to Piaget's theory. One of them is that children don't really develop in these discrete stages, as Piaget said, but instead development happens in waves, continuous waves, and it ebbs and flows. So development is not so much concrete stages, but more of a continuous process. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Also share it and leave a comment below. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye for now.